Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode 89, I believe, and I'm very excited about today's show. I must be honest with you that I think I bit off a bit more than I can chew. I didn't realize just how much there are. You know, if we talk about top resources and best resources for financial advisors and professionals, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today, yeah, it's a vast thing. So what I've decided after writing like a thesis almost on this today to share with you in this episode, I decided that I am definitely going to split this into a couple of episodes because there's too much to talk about and too many resources to share with you and things that I rate and things that I use every single day and that I also recommend to other financial advisors to use. And obviously these things change, and sometimes there's something new, and you know, some people love the new flavor of the month and other people just want to stick to the tried and tested. So there's something for everybody, and I'm really excited to share this afternoon with you. And looking forward to quite a few things, and there's a few announcements that I need to make that I do want to share with you about what's coming up. I'm really, really excited about what I've planned for the show and sort of what we've been able to put together so far. And I don't know why I use the word we, because it's because yes, there's people behind the scenes that sends me recommendations and connects me with people and that. So I guess it's we and we putting together shows and that. But I'm really, really excited about the upcoming initiatives. In August, I'm going to dedicate the entire month just to celebrating women, to really help women tell their story, to share their unique perspective on things, and where do they see our industry going, and sort of I think there's a lot that we can learn from them. And I'm really excited. Yesterday I sent out a WhatsApp to say, would you like to be a guest? And I'm now sitting with a conundrum and a problem and an issue, because there's 15 people that have actually said yes. I've only got 8 episodes during August, and of which one is the 100th episode. So yeah, it's difficult. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do. How am I going to do this? Are we going to fit some of them into August and then continue with the process over September, October, November? Because I think one thing that is very important to me is that I don't want to focus just on this in Women's Month. This is something that should happen throughout the year, and that we need to definitely have a look at that. So yeah, really looking forward to sort of figuring that one out, but we'll see. So yeah, time will tell exactly what we're going to do. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, Quibus, first in the house. Thank you very much, Quibus. Number 89 for you and for me. So that's awesome. Almeen Lottering, good afternoon. Thank you. I think you should also have seen like most of these episodes, and you've been here for so many live ones. So thank you very much, Malcolm. Buddy, same to you. I really, really appreciate it. Joseph, Casper, you've seen like many of these shows live. Thank you very much. Carol, you as well. Stephen, you've been here for many live shows. Johan Vosloo, who took a break for a week. I'm so happy to see you back, my friend. Nice to see you here. Tian, the first time I think I've seen you say hi, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Ross Breed, good afternoon. Weer warm in Stelly, so as the weather turned, what's happening there. And we got our kids back. Yeah, luckily my kids are finished with school. I know I don't look 25, but I am. But my kids are done with school. So I'm really happy that I don't have to deal with making choices around certain things when they had to go back or stay at home. And then, all the other stuff that goes with it now with them not going to school for the next 4 weeks. So yeah, good luck to everyone with that. Bronwyn, very nice to have you here. Also someone with quite a significant story. I saw your video on LinkedIn the other day, really profound, and it really hit home. So yeah, maybe you and I must also talk. Denise, good afternoon. Very nice to have you here. Thank you very much. Floyd, good afternoon. You've been sharing some of the episodes and all of that. I deeply appreciate it. So thank you for that. Alan, first time I think I've seen you say hi here as well. So good afternoon and welcome. So yeah, so what are the announcements? Yes, so first off was now that Women's Month, I'm going to dedicate all the episodes. So all 8 episodes during August will have female guests. We're going to talk to them from across the country. I've got 1 or 2 international guests. So yeah, really, really excited for that. They each have got their own unique story and their own unique perspective that they're going to share. So yeah, really excited about that and to get into that. And then September, I'm going to launch a series on what can we learn from. And there I've got a whole list of business owners that I want to speak to that are not in our industry. So, and yeah, there are such unique stories there, and really what they've built is so phenomenal. But I think it's not so much about what they've built, it's more about how they work. The things that they need to focus on, the things that are really, 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 just driving their industry and driving their businesses and the efficiencies and the processes and just the way that maybe the pressure that they work under and how they cope with all of that and just the whole story around that. There are some massive lessons for us to learn from that. So I'm really, really excited to get into that in September. And then that's as far as I've planned. So October and September is sorted. So we'll see what happens from there. Then very importantly, on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the 28th of July, I'm very excited to talk to Emily Blanche. Emily is the head of community at XY Advisor, which is a social media platform for financial advisors across the globe. They create the platform and the opportunity for financial advisors to really learn from one another and support one another and all of that. So it's a really fantastic platform. I can tell you that I'm starting my own group over there, as well as we'll be launching some of our learning programs on there as well. So we're really excited about that, to be partnering with them in as far as that is concerned, or that they've given me the opportunity to do that. So yeah, really looking forward to that. But I spent some time talking to Emily in the last in the last week or so. And her perspective and her experience and more her passion for what it is that she does, and particularly for building community, has been so invigorating. And it's just, it's I don't know, I just loved it. So I can't wait to speak to her and for her to share all of her stories with you. You would have seen possibly on the YouTube channel that already the episode is there under the playlist, so you can see what we're going to talk about. But we'll send out an email and a diary invite and all of that this afternoon still, so that you can book that in your diary. So please don't miss Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. South African time. I'm talking to Emily, and that is promising to be a good one as well. All right, so let's get into this afternoon. So when I was sitting down this whole morning, I was spending a lot of time because I decided on the topic last night, and I had a very good idea of what I wanted to talk about. And when I started writing these things down this morning, I realized whoa, this is huge. I mean, the areas that one could look at in your business is really, really crazy. It's all of these different aspects in our business. And if I had to share every single resource and every single tool that I personally rate and understand and have worked with and value, we're going to be here for 3 days, I promise you. But these are all the areas that I actually wrote down, and I'm pretty sure that there's a couple more that I'm going to write down. So what I decided to do was to split this into 2 parts at this point. I may go do a third part on this specific topic, because I think there's so much to share with you. And also I would love after each episode to sort of get your feedback and your input, which of these, or maybe some of the tools that I mentioned, but also are there other tools that you just simply can't do without? And I really want to get into that. So before I do, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate it if you could do that. We're now on 529, I think. So so still a long way to go. But if you could please consider subscribing, I deeply appreciate it. That's one way of supporting us with the show. And then also please like, share, and comment on this video. Let others know. Please tell other people about this. When I send out emails with the episodes in it, please forward it to other people if you don't mind, if you're comfortable to do that, or forward the WhatsApp messages. It really means a lot to me. And if you're watching the recording, please leave a comment below. I really appreciate it, whether you're watching on LinkedIn or here on YouTube. That'll be awesome. And then, specifically the topic I'm going to talk about this afternoon, there's a lot that you can add, and there's a lot of opinions and sort of your own experiences and your own tools that you may be thinking about. Please, as I talk about the different aspects, I'm going to share which 5 I'm going to talk about. But please share that down in the comments so that, this is a conversation. And also I want to learn from you as much as you're learning from me. That'll be awesome. And then one last announcement before I do get into this. I almost forgot. I've been asked to be part of a publication that's going to come out in October. specifically focusing on technology for financial advisors. So yeah, I will possibly, if you work for one of these companies or you know of awesome tools, please let me know. We would really like to include that in this publication. So let me know, and I'll appreciate it. You can WhatsApp me or email me. Most of you have got my details. Otherwise, just go to my website and you'll find it there. But as far as that is concerned, I'm ready to go. So let's do it. Alrighty, so what am I going to talk about today? So today I want to talk about technology in practice, and there are certain things that I've started using and that are really working for me from managing my business's point of view. And I've sort of started to figure out exactly how financial advisors can use this as well. So I want to focus a little bit on that. I mean, that is such a vast area that I just want to focus on specific things today there. But there are loads of things. Then also from a regulatory perspective, which resources or sources do I consult to stay up to date and to know that I get credible information, not hearsay, the IOLs of the world and the I don't know, Biz News and all this and all that. Even News 24 these days, I don't trust all of those sources. I want to go directly to the source or the people that talk directly to those sources and that really understand what things are about. So I want to share that with you. Then I'm going to talk about marketing. So what are the tools that I use in marketing, or that I think that advisors should be using in marketing, and then also for design, for those of you that want to do your own things, the design part as well. Excuse me, and then we're going to talk about compliance. So things that's going to make your life easier as far as compliance is concerned. Specifically, I did a session the other day for a group of new broker consultants, and we were talking about advisor experience, which is the same as client experience, but more focused on the advisor. And afterwards, I got the feedback like, yes, no, that's great, but we're working virtually most of the time, and I've got a separate thing on that. But we need to start combining this virtual world and this physical world that we were used to, because I don't think the one is going to take over and the other one's going to fall away. So all of the things that I want to share with you is sort of how can we work, whether I'm seeing a client in person or whether I'm seeing them virtually, how can we use these things together in order to make our lives and our clients' lives easier? Too many times, and this is a golden nugget, if you want to make a note, please make a note. The one thing that I see most people make the mistake, where I see most people make a mistake or businesses make mistakes, is what they're trying to do is they're looking at it from how can we make our lives as the business or as the business owner or as the department or the team or whatever easier, and often at the expense of the client. We should turn that completely around and say, how do I make the life of my client easy? Because if I make the life of my client easy, they will do business with me. They always take the path of least resistance. But we look at it the other way. We want them to complete everything. We want them to submit everything. We want them to do a whole host of things so that I don't have to. And it makes me more efficient. But it frustrates the client. So all of the things here that I want to share with you is working on sort of both ways. It's not only focused on clients. It's not only focused on advisors, but it is how we can use these things to benefit everybody. Alrighty, so let's start off with technology in practice. And one thing that I see a lot of advisors do that, many business owners, I guess, but let's talk about advisors, is that, when it comes to the choice of the hardware that you use, be it laptops, desktops, printers, be it your phone, tablets, it doesn't matter. Any kind of hardware piece of technology that you use, routers in your office, whether you go Wi-Fi or you have wired connections, it doesn't really matter. But it is important to actually research when you want to purchase something. And there's a few things that I want to take into account here and that I see a lot of advisors do, is that they just want to buy the cheapest laptop. They just want to buy the cheapest desktop because it's only for admin. We don't need a lot of resources. You know how much time you waste when something is too slow? We think that if instead of spending 10 on a laptop, I'm going to spend only 5.5. And I can promise you now, if you buy something for 5.5 or less, the chances that it's got a Celeron CPU in it or A9 or something to that effect that is really, really slow, okay, you are wasting money, not just because now you think you're paying less for this laptop, but the time it's going to take your assistant and your staff and even yourself, if you use something like that, to get things done, it is frustrating. And maybe it's still quicker than the one you've got at the moment. So for a little while, it's going to seem like, wow, this is amazing. but very shortly you will realize how much time you're wasting. So I recently bought a laptop. I paid a lot of money for it, but it's because it needs to do video editing and lots of stuff. You don't need something like that. But here's the thing. So I made sure that there's a solid state drive in this machine. What does that mean? It means that it's at least 6 times faster than a normal hard drive. You press the button to switch it on. Within 5 seconds, the machine is on. Even Windows, it's on. And you can use the machine, and there you go. Whenever you do anything on this machine, that drive is so quick. So that's one thing, and then enough memory. Those 2 things, and then thirdly, your processor. So if you have those 3 things, it makes a huge difference in your efficiency and also the levels of frustration that you will endure. So my tip here is that, and I'm not going to share with you which laptop, which thing. I'm a big fan of Lenovo. Dell comes in second, and then Asus, I think, is somewhere there. Those brands are quite good. HP is also not bad, but they tend to be more expensive. MSI tends to be more expensive. But if you look at Lenovo and Dell, between those 2, you're going to find the exact laptop that you need and that you want to use. So do your research, get some advice on this. And I wish that I could actually sell the hardware to you, because that would make it easy, and you would always get the right thing. But my place of choice, where I purchase all of my laptops, and even you can have desktops built in that, they actually focus on gaming, but they've got everything you need. And what I like about is the support and the advice that you get. The whole process works well for me, and they are called EveTech. So EveTech is a very important, it's been a very important supplier to me as far as my hardware, my computers are concerned. So you can go check out evetech.co.za, and then you can definitely get some good service and some good advice there of what you need. You tell them what it is that you want to do, and they will actually guide you as far as that is concerned. And then for accessories, so things like webcams, webcams. If you want a separate mouse, you want a big gaming mouse pad, because those things work nicely as well. Headphones, anything like that. I tend to start at Takealot because their pricing is quite good, and you've got a selection of things that you can choose, except now because everything is out of stock. But that is usually my go-to for accessories for laptops if you didn't purchase or get it with your laptop. Then a tool that I've started using I've used it for a long time. But I've really started using it more and more because I'm understanding it more, is Grammarly. It just helps somebody like me who's from the Free State and who speaks English in self-defense to just make sure that, your spelling is at least right and your grammar is not as bad as it maybe would have been. So Grammarly does make a huge difference. It integrates seamlessly with your browser. It's got a Windows app that you can use. I'm pretty sure there should be a Mac app as well, but where you can write in there and then copy and paste it to where you want to use it. But it will check everything and make sure that is good. There's also a pro version that you can purchase, but I only use the free version, and it's working quite well for me. Really an amazing tool. Then something that I kicked against quite significantly when it started off was Microsoft Teams. So I'll tell you a little bit more, although I don't think we're going to touch on that in this episode. In the next episode, I'll talk about my support system. But in terms of Microsoft Teams is, because I work with a lot of outside people, it's difficult when you're sending emails to one another. And exactly the same if your assistant now doesn't sit in the office anymore. She works from home. She's situated somewhere in the northwest. This morning I was speaking to somebody whose staff members sit down in Cape Town. In our accounting practice, I work with somebody who's situated in Centurion. I work with somebody who's situated in Cape Town. So we are all over the place. And what you want is this one central place where all the communication happens. You don't have to send emails. You don't have to do any of those things. Everything happens in there. And I've really come to learn Teams. I've been using it quite well. And there's a whole host of things that one can do and track and just have it in one central place. So Microsoft Teams, if you haven't checked it out yet for your business, I would strongly recommend that you do start looking at that. And I'm pretty sure that there are other options as well. But, there's so many apps that you can add. There's so many add-ins and integrations and things that one could do. There's even automations that one could do if you use things like Zapier or Integromat. If you do something in Teams, that it does something somewhere else, or something happens somewhere else and that it puts it into Teams. So all of that stuff is possible, which is obviously the next step or the next level. but Microsoft Teams have really been, I've been having more meetings in Microsoft Teams. We've been sharing a lot more documents in there. When we work on something, we can, if Ida and Mabeta and myself sit down and we do something together in the accounting practice, we're working on the same document at the same time, and it's done when we're done with the meeting. It's not like I do something and you do something and the other one does something and now we need to send documents around and all that kind of stuff. Yes, you can do that in G Suite. So if you use Google Docs, you can absolutely do that as well. I'm a big Microsoft fan, so all my stuff is Microsoft and everything integrates quite well. So from that point of view, I'd strongly recommend that. And then another app from Microsoft's got so many awesome apps now, but another app of theirs that I use, and obviously Teams have got an app for my phone, and then also something called Microsoft To Do, which is literally what it is. It's a to-do list, but the way it works and the way it shares and the way it syncs, if I flag an email in Microsoft Outlook, it immediately puts it into Microsoft To Do. And the other option that Microsoft To Do has is My Day. So I have a whole list. I can have different lists of things that I need to do. Maybe it's very important stuff and less important, whatever. So I can categorize them like that if I want to. But then I've got something called My Day. And when I go onto My Day, I can choose which of the tasks from all the lists that I've got I need to do today. And then you've got this focus list just for today. It's amazing. And I've got it on my phone. I've got it, it's on my laptop. It's in the cloud, so it syncs. Really, really beautiful how that works and what it does. So I'm very, very happy with using Microsoft To Do. Then also, I don't know where to put this, under marketing or under technology. But as far as web hosting is concerned, like so many people go with their ISP provider. Like I've been with AfriHost forever, and most of the websites that I've got used to be with AfriHost. But they don't offer specialized hosting as far as I'm concerned. The hosting isn't bad. I never had much of an issue. But I needed something that was quicker, something that was more reliable, something that was more built for what it is that I wanted to do. And I found Absolute Hosting here in Centurion. And they are local. They use solid state drives in their service. And the support I've received and all of that has really been fantastic. And it is built for WordPress hosting. So if you've got a WordPress-based site, they're really, really awesome. So much so I've also signed up as an affiliate with them. And if you go to francodutoit.co.za/hosting, if you want to check it out, that'll help me and the channel, obviously, because I will get a little bit of that. You won't pay anything more, but there will be a small commission coming to me should you decide to do that. And if you need any help with advice about which package you need or what to do, all of that, I can help you with that. And then also, they will even migrate your site from where you are to them, as far as I know, at no cost, but we can confirm that. So that is sort of the technology stuff. I just want to see quickly. There's quite a few comments here. So let me see quickly. Alrighty, so Russell says, good afternoon. Let me just see, get Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. He's hard. So one of the lists that I made was my YouTube channels that I watch and my podcast that I listen to, because it's changed a little bit over the last while. So that I'll do in episode or part 2 of this. Let me just see. Yes, Lenovo or Dell. You can go to EveTech. Definitely, I think I've bought four machines from them now over the last as many years. Always been happy. Koba says, absolutely agree on Grammarly. Recently invested in a new webcam. Yes, Logitech C920. Koba's awesome. Yeah, I've got the C922, but that's just the one. It's almost the same as the C920. Makes a huge difference in everything. So definitely I agree with you. Mr. Vossler says, agreed, Microsoft is the Toyota of the software world, easy, relatively reliable. I know that, Johan, you are not an Outlook fan. You're more of a, what is that system called? I can't remember now. But I know you are very much a fan of the other system. But it's horses for courses, eh? And I know we're going to have a good discussion over a beer at some point. All right, so let's continue. Let's talk about my regulatory resources. Now, obviously, one thing that I've learned doing all the training and put together content and all of that over the last few years is that I used to go to books, okay? And I would read books, and I found that in different books or from different authors, you would get different sort of viewpoints and different interpretations of the law. And then at some point I said, well, I've got to force myself to start reading legislation. I've got to force myself going back to the original source, like the home source of whatever it is that we're looking at, whether it's tax or estate duty or marital regimes or wills or whatever it is that we are working with. Go back to the source, to the actual legislation. Now, trust me, when I read that for the first time, it was like, it's hectic. But the more you do it, the more you get used to how these acts are structured, and you start to form an idea. So that's now these days my first go-to place if I need to research anything. I go to the source. And then if I don't understand what the legislation is saying, then I would go and look at books, watch videos, phone people, ask people, do that kind of stuff, and then still see, well, do I agree with that interpretation or not? And that sort of the thing. So for me, I found quite a few sources that are very reputable. Obviously, the very first one in our industry would be the FSCA. So apart from legislation, I'll share with you where you can get access to some of the legislation that we deal with, not all of it. But there is a way, because some of the other ones that I used to use is now a paid option. So I'm not yet willing to pay for getting a copy of the law, although the benefit is that is always up to date with the latest changes. I don't have to worry about, is this now outdated? Was it updated at some point in the future? Yeah, so I don't have to worry about that. But so the FSCA is obviously for us the first go-to place. So you read the regulations, the notices, all of those things, and make sure that you keep up to date. I've signed up to their email service. The one thing, if I could give feedback to the FSCA, if anybody knows anyone there, maybe they should just give those communications, because there's communications, there's notifications or notices, there is circulars, there are all these different words. And what they do when they send the summary of what has been issued in the previous day, it just says like phase notice number 3 of 2020. I mean, that is extremely frustrating. Just use the subject of what this notice is about as the file name. So you can still use just 3 of 2020 or whatever, and then just, say what this thing is about. The benefit for them is that I now have to click on every single document to go and see what it is about. And often it's a list of people that's been exempted from complying with something, that they've given special permission to, or they've extended their deadline or whatever that case may be. But the FSCA still, I go directly there, I read their own documents and their own communications that are issued, so that's the source. Then another one where I go because I trust them, I'm part of it, and obviously it is. I know that they engage directly with the FSCA, and that's the Financial Planning Institute. So yeah, the people there are really, really up to date with what's going on. They understand exactly what's going on, and more importantly, they know where things are going, and they know the way that the regulator is thinking towards. So I'm involved in a competency committee for tax at the moment, and then also from the training side, I've done quite a few programs for them. So really fortunate to be able to work with them. The Financial Planning Institute is also the regulatory body that gives us the updates on the regulatory changes. We've had David Kopp on the other day. So yeah, really my definitely the go-to professional body if you're in financial planning and in financial advice in general. So they are I think they and the FSCA sort of sits on the same level as far as I'm concerned. So I would go to both of them if I'm not sure about anything, or then at least if they distribute information, I know that it's credible and it is the truth, and that is where it is. And also we get an opportunity to voice our opinions and voice our views when there's documents out for commentary, etc., etc. So the Financial Planning Institute definitely, and if you're not a member, I would definitely encourage you to consider that. Every year I have a discussion with many advisors that would phone me, is it still worth it belonging to the FBI? Is it still, should I keep my CFP? Does it really? And the answer is yes. If you want to work in this profession and you want to be seen as professional, then you've got to belong to this. And if you go to the next level there, and we talk about SARS and SITE, SIPA, and SICA, that's my next level that I go to. So SARS, for me, is everything related to tax, obviously, and estates, trusts, and so forth. They've got a direct link under their legal counsel link at the top. So if you go to sars.gov.za, it says their legal legal something right at the top, and you click on it and you click on primary legislation, you get a direct link to LexisNexis, to all of the acts that are basically administered by SARS, or that falls within the SARS ambit. So, and it's the same thing there. You click on income tax, estate duty, all those kind of acts that apply, and you have the latest up to date. So I use that quite a lot when I need to research for my programs, or if there's queries and things that I'm not sure of, then that is where I go to find that kind of information. And also, SARS issues fantastic, believe this or not, they issue fantastic, what do you call them, documents, explanatory documents that would actually explain. The latest one that I saw came out recently was the one on determining your medical tax credits, because there's some things that have changed there. But you read through that document and it makes sense. They actually write in plain English. You read the act, it's a lot more difficult to understand. So often if I look at the act and it's something that's got to do with SARS, I would go and look at what publications they've got, where they explain all of this, and then it makes more sense, because they also give fantastic examples. So there's a good tip for you. So if you don't want to ask me, or it's late at night and you need to find out, just go check out SARS's website. There's fantastic information there. And then because we've got the accounting practice, so my role in that accounting practice is more new business development. So I would consult and meet with new clients and then get them into the business. And then we've got an accountant and a CA that is part of the business. And we've also now brought on two more people onto the business. So that business is really going along. But through their affiliations, we also have access to SITE, SIPA, and SICA. And through those three bodies, I mean, obviously we get a lot of information back in terms of what's going on with tax and the accounting rules and all those kind of stuff. So also, from the Financial Planning Institute, it's often very much focused on the financial planning aspects of tax, etc. And then from a SITE, SIPA, SICA, it's more just from a tax perspective in general and a business perspective from that. So really awesome to be able to get all of this information. And I have quite a few people that actually look at it, and then we talk about it and sort of see what we understand, etc. So really, really awesome. Yeah. So quite a lot of stuff, eh? Carol, that's very sharp. Get it from the source's mouth. Yes. For those that don't get it, it's from the horse's mouth. So that's awesome. Tian says legislation has a rhythm. If you get the rhythm, that is such a fantastic way of putting it. Yes, you're so right. That's exactly what it is. Because legislation tends to follow a certain sort of formula, if you will. All of the acts start the same way and they sort of follow through, and there's a way to read this. And also, I think where legislation becomes hard for most people to read is when it starts referring to other acts and other sort of sections in, whether it's the same act or a different act. That's where now I need to keep my head on straight. And I think that is it. Neil says a fantastic scanner. There's a Fujitsu Scan Snap IX500. Thank you very much for that. Yes, those things are quite important, specifically if you want to scan back-to-back stuff, etc. So very, very important. Thank you, Neil. All right. So let's continue. So as far as marketing and design is concerned, I'm first going to talk about marketing. So on the left-hand side, you're going to see marketing stuff. And then on the right-hand side, I will talk about some design tools and things that you can use if you want to create your own things, or somebody in your office wants to create certain content that you want to use on social media or in your emails or however you want to use it, maybe in a document, etc. So let's talk about that. So ConvertKit, as you know by now, hopefully, is my preferred email provider. They're also now coming out with some other fantastic things which I want to investigate. But they really also bringing an e-commerce part to this whole thing. And I want to see how one could use that from an advisor perspective. But really been an awesome journey. I've been paying about 500 Rand a month for that, but I don't mind because it's much better than MailChimp in my opinion, although there's similar functionality, and I could have double the amount of people I've got right now without paying for it on MailChimp. But there's just something about a piece of software when you pay for it that really makes you use it, number one. And number two is the value you get and the support you get is so much better. You try and contact somebody at MailChimp when you're on a free account. Good luck with that. But anyway, so if you go to francodutoit.co.za/ConvertKit, you can also help me out a little bit there because you're not going to pay more, but I get a little bit of a commission on that. So if you want to check out ConvertKit, if you've got any questions, let me know. I've been using it now for almost a year. September will be a year. So ConvertKit is awesome for sending out email campaigns or notices or anything like that. The way you can put your list together, and you can segment and create all sorts of different things to really, really customize. And the way also that it integrates with my website is really amazing. So there's so many things possible with this. I'm not even using it to its full ability at the moment, simply because I don't have the time to set up everything the way I want it, but I'll get there. But you can really do some amazing stuff with ConvertKit. So my go-to, definitely ConvertKit. Then the next one is WhatsApp. Some of these things are going to go, yeah, Franco, I know. I did a whole episode on WhatsApp. What's it, episode 31? I can't remember. But it was around about there, 30, 31, 32, somewhere there. I did this episode on WhatsApp and how to use broadcast lists and groups and all of that. But WhatsApp still is, I think, the best tool for marketing if you don't abuse it and if you use it properly. And there's a few things that I'm going to try out in the coming weeks with that specifically. So if you do want to join the WhatsApp group for the show specifically, it's a group, but it's a one-way communication just from me, so nobody can respond on the group. It's just francoretouet.co.za/WhatsApp, and it'll take you straight there, and you'll add yourself to the group if you're not already on my list. If you're already getting my WhatsApps, please don't join the the group. It's the same group. But WhatsApp is awesome, for sending short messages and things. And there's a few things that I've experienced now with working with Emily. That'll be on the show on Tuesday. That I've now I love this. I like this. I'm trying to figure out, and I'm going to talk to her afterwards about sort of why that and not the other one. But I'm really looking at how can we use video more in our marketing, and it's really amazing what her and I have been doing via this specific piece of technology. I really, really love it. So maybe something that I'll add to the list in due course. Then website. I think my website, so we're busy, as I said to you before, the branding has been done. I received all my logos yesterday, all the colors, everything's been done. Really, really excited to launch the new brand, the new look, the new name, everything. As I said to you, I think on Tuesday, is that what we're doing, we're splitting my personal brand from the business completely, and the website is a crucial part of both. So there's sort of two things for me from a website perspective. I like to be in control and be able to do whatever I want to do. So WordPress is my go-to. So not WordPress.com. There is what is called a self-hosted WordPress, which means that you install WordPress onto your own hosting, and then you've got full control over that. It's completely independent from WordPress.com, and you can do more with that as well. Now, a lot of people, there's quite a steep learning curve if you want to learn WordPress. I've learned it extensively since 2017, so I'm well versed at doing WordPress and customizations and things like that. But it's not for everybody. So for those of you that want your website and you want some form of control over posting content and just updating your website and doing things like that, I'm quite excited to announce that there's going to be a new service that's going to be coming soon. It's called Advisor Pro. It's a website as a service. So what's up? I don't know. But it's a WAS, website as a service. And I just want to quickly sort of give you a rundown of what it really entails. It is, it's as I said, it's called Advisor Pro, and it's specifically aimed at financial advisors, where you can get a professionally designed website that's got everything that you need and everything that you and those things, but nothing of the things that you don't need. All right, so that's amazing, and it will be an affordable monthly cost. So you'll pay for it monthly. You'll get all of that. It's integrated with Calendly. There's more booking systems that are coming online, etc. There will be different functionalities that you can choose. What do you want? What you don't want? So those things are all important. It's connected to social media just through the click of a button. So very easy. There's other things that are available like article writing, search engine optimization if you want to rank on Google and the other search engines. Just really aimed at helping financial advisors bring in more leads and obviously do more business. So the guys that's doing that is very excited. So I will definitely, when that goes live, share more with you. The website address is Advisor Pro, so advisorpro.co. So yeah, I will put it on the screen at the end, but it's definitely worth checking out. It's not live yet. It's almost there, but definitely something to look out for that'll be different from the things that are available at the moment. All right, then for marketing as well, LinkedIn, my go-to social media place. There's a lot of advisors who love Instagram. Some still love Facebook, some Twitter. Terence Tobin is very successful on Twitter, it seems. Yeah, it's for me, it's LinkedIn, and just using the articles and the posts and videos, basically, is what I'm using. Mostly post and video, and then obviously the articles. I haven't written an article in quite a while, which is sad. I haven't had time, but there are a few things that I want to share again and that I do want to write about, so I will use that again, but I used to use that quite a lot in the past. But LinkedIn is definitely my marketing channel of choice, yeah, still, it's a learning process every single day. Of how to use LinkedIn and what to do with LinkedIn. Every time you think you know what this is about and exactly how to use it, things change. Or you realize like, oh, you're just a little bit off the road here. You need to be, but the big thing with LinkedIn is that you just need to start, and you just need to start doing it and learning it and be visible and connect and engage with people in a meaningful way. So that is quite important, but LinkedIn definitely should be on the list as far as that is concerned. And then something that I've really fallen in love with, and you would have heard me speak about this quite a few times, and that is Profile Me. I'm very excited. I'm getting my own Profile Me card thingy for Virtual Coffee with Francois. So I'm going to be in your pocket on your phone. You'll have the latest episode there. You'll know what the upcoming episode is. Never again do you need to worry about where's the link. You will just click it. You'll have access to all the episodes from there if you want. You can get in contact with me from there. It's just amazing. It's really amazing. And you can do the same from your business. We've spoken to Kobus Klein before about him using in his episode where we talked about turning clients into advocates. Part of that talk we had was around Profile Me and how he uses that to just take his brand to the next level, and also just to be in the face of his clients, and he's really incorporated this all into his whole process. So I mean, just when I saw that with him for the first time, I was just like, Kobus always thinks at the next level. Like, you think this is how you use it, and then he takes it like this and he does that with it. And there's a few people that have started doing that. So really, really, if you want to look from a marketing point of view, being in contact, and again, going back to what I said when we started, you want to make it as easy as possible for your clients to be able to get in contact with you, to send you stuff. I mean, you can link anything into that Profile Me application, if you will. I want to call it an app. It's really, really as simple and as easy as that, where you can have your booking on there if they want to book with you online. You can, if you've got a link where somebody can fill in information for you to start doing an F&A, you can have that. If you want to have an introductory video, you can do that. Whatever it is that you've got, you can have direct access directly from your client's phone, even from their laptop, their desktop, their tablet. They can use it on any device. And it's so simple. So from my point of view, Profile Me is going to become a necessity for most advisors, and something that you have to consider. It's definitely worth the investment into that. And it's not even expensive. There's different options that you've got. But I can't wait for mine to be done. It's almost done. And then I will share that with you. So yeah, lekker. Let's talk a little bit about design. Canva, you've heard me talk about Canva before, definitely still my go-to. There's some other ones that have come along. I have looked into them. I haven't used them that much, so I don't want to talk about them yet. But Canva is still my go-to app. It is the easiest to use. My daughter did a lot of things for her business now on there without me showing her anything. That is how easy it is to use. It is just go sit down, it's drag and drop, choose this, choose that, and boom. And it's more like, you learn about design as you go along. And they've even got these little videos that you can watch that teaches you some design principles. And it makes the world of difference, But anyway, so Canva, if you're also interested, they've also got a pro version. So the basic Canva is for free, and you can do a lot with that. But if you're interested in that, you can go to francois.co.za/Canva. And again, you'll support me a little bit by doing that. You won't pay a cent more, but you will help me out a little bit if you do that. But Canva is definitely, it's the easiest design. It's got an app on my phone. So I usually design on my laptop, and then I just go to the app on my phone. I download it on my phone, and I'm ready to go and do with that whatever I want. So all my thumbnails that I've been sending you, they're all done on there. Any other posts that I do these days, if there's an image or anything that I use with it, it comes from Canva. Very, very simple. And even when I'm on the run, I can use the app to quickly do that. And it's just amazing what that does. Then Affinity Photos. If you want to go a little bit more advanced and you want to do like photo editing, so Affinity Photo is a direct competitor with Photoshop. So Adobe Photoshop, which has been the industry leader since forever, as far as I know. But what makes Affinity Photo so awesome is that it's got, 95 or 98% of all the functionality that Adobe Photoshop has got. Maybe Razan will differ with me because she's a Photoshop buff. But Affinity Photo cost me $800 once off. Never pay for it again. Photoshop, you pay monthly in dollars, not so lekker. So unless you're a designer, that would make sense. But I bought Affinity Photo, and in fact, I bought Affinity Designer and Affinity Publisher so that I can create all sorts of documents as well using the same platform, and those apps integrate seamlessly, so it's available on your desktop and also on your tablet. But anyway, Affinity Photo is definitely there, and then Photoshop, obviously. I've used Photoshop Elements for many years, which is a dumbed down version of Photoshop, so you can't do as much with it, but it was able to do all the things that I wanted to do. But again, I had to pay for it every single year, and it's about $80 a year that I paid for that. So now it's, what's that, $1,200, if not more. And now I've got Affinity Photo, 800 Rand once off, never pay for it again, but I get all the updates, all the things that happen. And yes, you can purchase certain add-ons if you want to, but really an amazing, amazing tool to use. Then something similar to Canva, it's not exactly the same, but it's more aimed at creating posts for social media. It's an app, it's an application that I've got on my phone called Adobe Spark Post. But many of the things that you can do in Spark Post, you can also do in Canva now, but there's different designs and different things that makes, you've got more control over certain things in Adobe Spark Post. So you can check that one out as well. It's a free app. I'm not sure, I can't remember if there is in-app purchases if you wanted to do certain things, but as far as I know, I've got the free version. And then an application, it's also an app on your phone called Snapseed. That is to make your photos beautiful. So you can change different things and the look and feel of a photo, so you can do all of that, because usually you can do some of it in Canva, but Snapseed is the one that I would usually use to edit a photo. If I took a photo and it didn't come out like crisp and very nice, Snapseed can really help with that. And I'll do some tutorials on these things as recorded videos, not as part of the show, but I will definitely over time do some of that. Or you can just go and Google or on YouTube, go search for these applications and you'll find many tutorials on this. But those are some of the awesome things as far as design is concerned. Alrighty, then compliance. So FICA, as you know, is a pain in the butt. And this is something I actually learned from Louis van der Merwe in his Advice Tech conference that he had when was it, in May, the 28th of May or somewhere. You can still find it if you go to louisvdmerwe.co.za/Advice Tech. You can still go watch the entire 3 hours there. But one of the sponsors there was Easy FICA. And it's just a way where you put the client's information in and then they get a link and they need to do all the things to FICA themselves. And, it just takes all of that pain away from that point of view. It's stored in a central database as far as I understand and all of that. So that's definitely something that I think can make a lot of people's lives a lot easier. Yes, it'll cost you money, but yeah, the pain and the frustration that it saves is definitely worth it. Not sure if all FSPs will be happy to use that. But be that as it may, it's definitely something you can check out. So Easy FICA, as I've written it there on the screen. So you can definitely go check that out. And then something that has really come to the fore, like this business has been around for quite a while. But as electronic signatures became like, now it's an issue. Now we need it right now in this time that we challenged with. And that is Quickly Sign. So Quickly Sign, they've got two versions. They've got Quickly Sign and they've got Quickly Sign for financial services. Really awesome. A friend of mine is using it. I've had the priest send some stuff to me to sign. It uses OTPs, one-time pins. And you can also sign it and do all sorts of stuff without printing anything, without needing a printer or a scanner or anything like that. So Quickly Sign is really, and you can do so much with it. Your compliance documents, you can have obviously application forms. You can, whatever it is that a client must sign, you can just send through that. Proposals. So we've done proposals to to people that we've sent to them via Quickly Sign, and they would just OTP, boom, boom, it's done. No issue. No issue. They could read through it. They keep all of the things that is legally required for that signature to be accepted in a court of law, and to make sure that everything is actually above board as far as that is concerned. So yeah, amazing. So those are definitely two of the tools that I would say from a compliance point of view. The third point that I had here was around record keeping, but I'm going to leave that for a separate discussion, because that can get quite intense, and the things that we can do as far as record keeping is concerned, and how do we keep backups of what it is that we've got. So from a compliance point of view, that is definitely some two of the tools that I would check out if I was you. Alrighty, so what are your favorite can't do without tools and resources? Particularly the 5 things that we've spoken about. So that was just general technology stuff in your business. Maybe hardware that you're using, something that some people can't go without their smartwatch. Some people can't go without their phone, or their sort of tablet or phablet. But what is it that you use that you can't go without, and maybe which apps on that device makes it so useful for you? Because often it's not the device itself. Using this device is absolutely amazing. That's why it's got the Captain America badge on the back. But, it's not that. It's the software on there that makes it so useful. And so what what is it that you use? So please share it with me in the comments, or send me an email or a WhatsApp. You're more than welcome to do that. And also, who is your go-to person or business or company or body to get your information from? Who do you prefer working with? Please put it down in the comments. Send me a WhatsApp, whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't really matter to me, but please give me that feedback. I really appreciate it. So in part 2, next week Friday, so this will be next week Friday, I'm going to talk about resources and tools for support in your business. I'm going to talk about where do I get certain information and things from, which is not apart from the regulatory stuff and all of that. I'm going to talk about learning resources, business management resources and tools, and also then planning tools. I'm going to talk about, obviously, I call them the big 4, but then there's some new kids on the block that I also want to share with you. There's all of these tools that's coming available and that I really think are awesome. So I do want to make you aware of them so that you can go check them out. And absolutely a pleasure to sort of help you or put you in touch with anybody that you would like to talk to. Cool beans. So that is sort of my story. Yes, Carol, you're 100% correct. This is a huge, where did my mouse go? Let me just see, there we go. Let me see quickly here what we've got here. Carol, I still think you get it from the source's mouth. Really awesome. Russell, CFA Institute also publishes. Thank you, Russell. That is important. So the CFA Institute, thank you. I'm definitely going to add that to the list because, as you say, it's also from a global perspective. And some of the resources I'll share with you next week. There's a lot of global resources in there because I think often we think we are based in South Africa and there's no benefit in listening to somebody from overseas of this or this because they don't understand South Africa or they don't. And it's not about that. And it's also the exact same reason why I want to look at what we can learn from other industries, because it's not about our industry. It's not about South Africa. It is about opening our minds to what is possible and then seeing how do we make it work in South Africa. And maybe something just gives you an idea to do something completely different, or to just make a small little tweak in your business that just changes everything for you and your clients. So that is really important as far as that is concerned. Elmo says, thanks for the show, Francois. I have to run, but we'll catch the rest on recording. Great to hear at what level you place the FPI. The regulatory advocacy journey started earnestly about 10 years ago now. Yes, you can't believe that, eh? 10 years. So yeah, definitely. Let's see. Quibus says, let me take that one to the black there. WhatsApp broadcast, my most significant online community communication tool. Huge value to my clients. Yes, I saw the post you did, Quibus, about the prediction. You're very good at these predictions. Do you do lotto predictions? Please let me know. I will pay you a percentage of what we win. But let me know. I saw that the message you sent to your clients about your prediction about the interest rate changes. So, which is awesome. Nothing better than Profile Me. Absolutely. I fully agree. If you get what that is really about, it's not a digital business card. It's not a piece of technology. Some people I see online says this is the greatest technology ever. It's not technology. It's what it does. Just if people can get that, you won't think twice about getting that tool. Absolutely. Snapseed is very good. Yes, you've got so much control. It's really an easy app to use. Photoshop, Francois, yeah, I knew that, Razan. It's like Johan with his, Johan always talks about this, but it's Inbox Zero, but I can't remember now what this like email client is called. But he also feels very quickly sign, amazing. Trialing it for the last 3 weeks. Awesome, Kobus. Nice to hear that from you as well. The subject is too huge, Carol. You forgot the word too. Was great. Took lots of notes. Thanks and take care. Thank you very much, Bronwyn. Russell says, quickly sign is awesome. I've been using it since beginning of last year, made my business paperless, which is a big thing. We want to go as paperless as possible, but not at the expense of the client experience. Because again, often we make it so easy for ourselves, but our clients suffer the consequences because there's, just like, Kobus, if I can use you again as an example, when you did the Profile Me, when you started that, there is some change management that needs to happen with clients, and you need to make them aware. And the way that you've done that is brilliant, but it takes effort to get clients educated about that. You've got this portal for them, if you will, and how to use it and how to save it and do all that stuff and how to contact you once they've done. So it's not like you get something and then you just say to clients, oh, I've got this, and then good luck to using it. That's not what it's about. So exactly the same with all of this stuff. It's really amazing what we can do. Thanks very much, Casper. And then Kobus, thanks, Russell, for the confirmation. Awesome stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, that is me. Let's go have weekend. Let's go enjoy and just take a rest a little bit. It's been a hectic few weeks in my life. So this weekend I'm going to try and take it a little bit slower. I've got a few things that I still need to finish, but those are nice things to work on. Some exciting things. I'm helping somebody to automate a huge part of their business. So really looking at, what we can do there and just understanding all the processes and that. So looking forward to that and having a braai. But yeah, I think that's it from me. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for everything and for supporting me. I deeply appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye.